Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Lioness Den. We are here again. It is the third Saturday, and we are celebrating Father's Day this Saturday. So get your phones out. I'm a little tongue tied right now, but it's okay. Get your phones out and let's go into no. Am I sticking again?
No.
Oh, okay. It was me. I thought I was sticking again. I stopped. Okay. So here we go again. Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Lioness Den. We are so happy that you decided to join us today. Look, we're about to have an amazing time. We're going to be talking to two young ladies today about being a daddy's girl. As you know, it's Father's Day month, and we just want to celebrate the fathers this month. We have two ladies that are going to join us today on two different segments to talk about being a daddy's girl. And so, if you have your phones, let's do what we usually do. Let's get our phones out. Let's like, tag, and share this live with others so they can come on and join us in the Lioness Den. Look, we do this once a month, every third Saturday. And so put it on your calendars. Get excited because we're coming back on every third Saturday. And this Saturday, it's going to be amazing. So without further ado, let's go into the Lioness Den. Hey, everybody, we're back. And look, I'm so excited because we have a special guest, our first guest that's about to come on. And she is amazing. She's what I have seen of her is very quiet but supportive and powerhouse first lady. And so the guest I have today is Lady Sabrina Schofield. And I've seen Lady Z in action. I've seen her support her husband behind the scenes. He's been on our program and she's been there every time. She's one of those people in the background saying, do this. No, don't do that. Giving us, direction as we move along. And so I'm really happy to have her in front of the camera today with us. So without further ado, I want to introduce to some and present to others, Lady Sabrina Schofield. Hi, Lady Z.
Hello there. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well today too.
Perfect. I'd like to give you the opportunity to introduce yourself because, I said my part, but you might have something different in your introduction.
Oh,
So,
well, your introduction was good, was great. I can say that I can say about myself that I am a woman of God by choice. I am a wife by marriage and a daddy's girl by birth.
oh, I like that. I like that. So, we were talking a little bit off camera, and I think I was saying to you how I'm not quite a daddy's girl.
Mm-hmm.
even though my mom would have disagreed with me.
Mm-hmm.
She always would say that I was the one who was asking her questions about my dad and everything. So, yeah. But I think I was a half and half because I always lived with my mom
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't live with my dad. But with that being said, um, as a daddy's girl, what moment in your life you look at and you say, I know that I'm this way because of my relationship with my dad?
Oh, it's a good question. So I believe that I'm a daddy's girl because of the way my father took me up under his wing as a little girl. And the majority of the things that he did, if he was outside working on the car, I was right there with him. If there was something special he wanted to watch on television, he had me right there with him for us to share in it together. And if I needed an explanation about something, he was willing to teach me and talk to me about it and to walk me through it. Those are a couple of things that I would say would help define me as being a daddy's girl.
Okay. Growing up, so I heard you say he would take you with him. He would do those things, spend that extra time with you, if I could paraphrase what you were saying.
Hmm.
Um, when you made your decisions about different entities, did you find yourself discussing those decisions, different things in your life? Did you find yourself discussing those things with your dad and him giving you like major advice on which way to go?
Well, yes. One of the key things that my father helped me with was my decision or my pursuit in becoming a nurse. And oddly enough, my father at one point in time in his life wanted to be a doctor, and he was actually down at Johns Hopkins doing some things down there. And when I expressed my interest in wanting to be a nurse, of course, that was pleasing to him. But I wanted to be a nurse before I even really knew about him wanting to be a doctor. And his pursuit of that changed, of course, when he got married and I came along. But my father was very encouraging to me when I started off going to nursing school years before I actually did and stopped. And then when I got back into it, he did all that he could to make sure that I fulfilled that and had a smooth way of being able to do it. And if ever, I thought that I couldn't do, he would encourage me to press through, telling me that I could do it, that whatever I put my mind to, I could do. So he helped me in that regard, but he also helped me, as I started to say, to follow through and to pursue and to make sure that I walk in that dream that I wanted to, as to become a nurse.
Okay. What is your favorite memory of your dad?
Um, One of the favorite things that I have about my dad was in the army, and he served 2 terms in the Vietnam War. And so when he was finally back, and then I was old enough to go with him places, he would pack the family up on certain events and take us out to Aberdeen Proving Ground to the Edgewood location or entrance, and we would have a family day and would watch him jump. He was part of airborne, and so we would watch him, jump, and so those were special. And then handling his army equipment and him teaching me certain things about the army and helping him to prepare to go away when he would get dressed with his boots. You know, I would help him shine his boots and get his uniform ready and things like that. So that's memorable for me, for the two of us as I was growing up while he was still in the military.
Sounds so cute. The little girl walking around with daddy's boots.
Yep.
But no, that's like awesome. That's an awesome memory because in our society, especially as African Americans, a lot of times we don't have fathers in the home, and so to hear about a father who was
Hmm.
there and took the time with his daughter to just make her a daddy's girl, to show her the things that she
Yeah.
needed to know.
Hmm.
As far as relationships,
Hmm.
how did your father influence your decision in relationships?
Well, my father was like a typical dad. If there was ever anyone interested, his thing was, you know, the to me the questions were like kind of crazy because if we're teenagers, he's like, well, what are his intentions with you? What does he want to do in the future? What are his plans and all that? It's like, I don't know. This guy just likes me, so I don't know. And it was always, I need to meet him, I need to see him, and all that, which is, normal and typical and understandable. um but if there was ever anyone that he didn't like, he may not necessarily have told me. I would have seen how he reacted and what his response was to that individual. But one of the things my father always said to me, or one of the key things I knew that my father expected of me in a relationship with anybody, is that even if when I got married, not he didn't say this concerning my husband now, but he said it back before I ever got married, that if he ever found out that I wasn't being taken care of the way that he took care of me, especially if it turned out to be someone that was abusive, my father said to me, I'm going to come and pack you up and take you back to me, because if he's not going to take care of you the way that I will take care of you, I'm going to come and take you back. And so that was like point blank, period. He said, no questions. Don't you ask me not one thing about that. And and then on the flip side of that, he said, and if I come do that and you decide to go back to him, that's
That
it.
was it.
That was it. He would not he would not be too keen with that. And then our relationship would be a little shaky about that. But that was an abusive, type of thing. And
Right.
that, that's understandable.
Right.
So, and I understood that. So that's how it, he was, he may have tolerated a guy here or there and all. And then if he didn't like him, I just knew. So,
Was a
yeah.
great indication that that was not the one.
Right. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, so I will say my favorite TV dad is Bill Cosby,
Mm-hmm.
of course, from the Cosby Show. Who
Mm-hmm.
is your favorite TV dad that reminds you of your dad?
Oh, wow.
That
Bill
wasn't on the
Cosby.
list, by the way. I just thought of that one.
Okay, that's fine. Yes, thank you. Just throw that curveball in there.
Yeah, sorry.
Um, Bill Cosby. I can see how that it was, because my father was a businessman as well. He works as an engineer when he was in the workforce, and you know, my father actually, how the Cosbys was is, my father was concerned about what was going on with us. Um, he took the time to have conversations. Um, he was a disciplinarian when he needed to be, and then he was playful also when he needed to be. So I can put my father in the category in comparison to him. Um, the other father TV dads would be what, Carl Winslow, the police officer, and then Uncle Phil.
Yeah, I take
Um,
Uncle Phil.
yeah. Oh, so I would say my father's like a mixture of all of them, but you know, Cosby as like the main one.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I think a lot of kids growing up, Cosby opened the door or actually gave them a picture into if they didn't have a dad, that's how they would like their dad to be. Because
Right.
he was the fun guy, And
Hmm.
so that's why I asked, because people who didn't have fathers living with them, we were still trying to figure it out, but Bill Cosby became our, like, number one father. So a
Right.
lot of people who had fathers, they would say, my dad is like Bill Cosby, but then they would say a little bit different. So
Yeah.
that's why
Hmm.
that question came to mind.
Hmm.
Um, let's see. Ask you maybe one more question that's not on the list, okay?
Okay.
Um, when it comes to your dad and you think about him, what is the first word that comes to mind and why?
Protector. And the reason why I that comes to mind first is because my father um, was a stickler for making sure that his family was always safe. Um, he he he. My father doesn't play about his family, and being grown that I am, and all of my siblings, and with us being grown, he's concerned about our safety and what's going on with us. And then when we were all together, my father is a type, he would lay down his life for his family. It was like, if anything is going on, um, all of us would stay together and fight if anything were to happen. But the greatest thing with my father is his fight, is his battle. Y'all go and move on and get to safety, and I'll take care of whatever it would be. So, protector. I can give a little story, an example of
Please.
that. At one point in time when I was in high school, I was going to a Catholic school, and I would take the subway. And around about that time, that's when the subways had actually just started, or they were built and running.
Mhm.
And I had an encounter with a gentleman that decided he wanted to stalk me each day when I got on the subway. And so I got home one day and I told my father about it. And my father is the type, he's going to do what he needs to do concerning his family. Even if he had to take off work and people complained and said, well, you can't take off. My father's like, well, um, my family needs me. Fire me if you have to.
Mhm.
And so my father took off, or he decided to go to work late the next day. So he wanted me to take the bus the same way I did. We got on the bus together, and he just wanted me to point out the person, as my father followed me as I went to school, to point out the person so that he could see who he was. And my father followed me all the way to where I had to go get on a different bus, and then he followed the gentleman someplace else. And so when I went to go get on the bus, I was very nervous. I was like, Lord, please, I want my father to come back home,
Right.
because my father's a military man, and my father's going to do whatever he needs to do to protect his family. And then I'm the oldest girl. And
Okay.
so, but he came home that night when I came home from school. He was home. I saw him. But then there was police there and all. And so we, excuse me, it was handled a different way. But that's how my father is. He was like, I'm going to go see, I'm going to, and I'll do what I need to if I have to. And so that's the number one thing with my father is protector.
That's amazing. Did you ever see the gentleman again?
I did not, only because he wanted me to go to school a different way.
Okay.
So I was rerouted for a period of time, which caused me to have to wake up earlier and all. And so I had to I had to go a different route for a period of time. And then when I shifted back, then everything was, I never saw that person again. Yeah.
I just asked, since you say he was a protector, I was wondering, did he make it through the encounter with your father?
Well, I don't think he actually, I think he found out where he worked and all that.
Okay.
And then that's why the police were
Okay.
involved. And they were at the house, and I talked to the police. My father did, and I think he told them where the guy went as far as work was concerned,
Okay.
because I went from my house to downtown and then took the bus to where I needed to go. Yeah. So that person worked downtown, because even when I got off the subway, the gentleman followed me as
Mm,
well. So when I got to my next bus stop, he walked past where my stop was, and then I saw the guy walk, and then I saw my father walk, and that was the last time I saw my father that day until I got home.
understood.
Yeah.
He's a real protector. He
He's
really
a real
means
protector.
really
That's right.
means it.
hmm
Now, if I remember from years ago, because I met your parents before I met you long ago, your dad plays. He's a musician also.
No.
No,
Mm-mm.
okay. I thought the guy that I met when I met your mom was your dad, but he was playing a guitar or a
Well,
lead. But
mm,
maybe that was the wrong guy.
probably. I was going to say
Yeah,
my brother is a
I was at her
musician.
church with another church, and I was like, I thought that was your dad who was playing
Oh, okay.
instrument.
I think I know who you might be talking about. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Hey, look, I was
Mhm.
getting ready to say this dude does it all. He plays
Yeah.
music too, he does it all. But okay, all right. Um, when you and this is a personal question, you can say, Lydia, I'm not going to say this. When you went
Mm,
to marry your current husband,
mhm.
how did your decision to marry him weigh in with who your dad is and what he had shown you? A lot of women choose men who are like their fathers. That's why I'm asking that.
Right, right. So ask me that again, because I'm trying. I'm probably not getting it right.
So
Yeah.
so yeah, when you went to marry your current husband,
Right.
let me say it this way: what about him reminded you of your dad, or
Okay.
did he remind you of your dad?
In several ways, he does. Um, Irwin is a protector as well. He's very adamant about that. Like he gave me, like, we have a plan. If anything were to happen, I must do certain things,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like no question. Like, you better, it's like, please do what I say, and I'll handle it, and then you'll see me after the fact. Um, and also being a provider and protector, provider, and just having love for family that that mirrors how it is as far as my father is concerned in those few aspects. hmm
Gotcha. Yeah, I just noticed that a lot of women who are daddy's girls, they kind of pick men who embody the
hmm
characteristics of their father. You know,
hmm
those characteristics seem to make the man more appealing because he's like, oh, my dad would do that for me, stuff
hmm
like that. And so I thought I'd ask
hmm
that question. Um, my last question for
hmm
today, and it's not really a question, it's kind of a statement. I am
hmm
going to step out for a moment and um, let's see if if you would leave a message for your dad today for Father's Day. Just whatever you would say to him for a happy Father's Day. Can you share it with us? That's what I'm saying. Is that
Oh,
okay with
okay,
you?
okay,
All right, let's do that.
okay, okay. So happy Father's Day, Dad. I love you. You have been a wonderful example. You have been the best father. I know a lot of other people call you dad as well, because they see how it is that you are and see how our relationship is. I wouldn't be the woman that I am today if it wasn't for you. You have taught me so much. You have helped to shape me to be strong and independent, courageous. And for all of that, I appreciate you. I love you. And I am grateful for you. Happy Father's Day.
Thank you, Lady Z, so much. I appreciate you coming and joining us. And thank you for just sharing with us things about your dad because it is comfort sometimes to hear other people talk about that relationship that they
Hmm.
had with their dad when you haven't had that sort of relationship. And so,
Hmm.
thank you for sharing and being transparent with us today. We're gonna get you back again to talk about some other stuff because you're a nurse, and I know you know some
Okay.
other stuff that because we deal with a
Okay.
lot of women's issues here, and
Uh-huh.
so we do women's health also. So we'll get you back
Okay.
again. But thank you so much for joining us, and we're going to go into our next segment um, with Pastor Madeline Jones, and we'll be right back.